Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, Team Mosso at the1916company.com for purchase pricing and availability questions regarding this watch. Today we're discussing something rare and exquisite, the original FP Journe Octa Chronograph. Now the Octa Chrono was originally introduced back in 2001 and the build-out continued until the taper and conclusion of production around 2008 according to Journe's own records. What's fascinating is how rare these watches are, with only 213 ever made and highly partitioned and segmented. So when you take the cases, the metals, the dial styles, the presence of a bracelet or not, you generally wind up with any given variant being no more than a few dozen pieces made. The exception being the rutheniums, which, well, I guess with 99 pieces made of the Octa Chrono ruthenium, that is probably the largest production of any Octa Chrono. What I have for you right here is something decidedly scarcer. We have a white gold dial, platinum case, this 38mm watch with a full factory bracelet, making it scarcer still. You will not find another like it. It's an easy watch to wear, of course, 38 in diameter. It's 10.6 thick. I measure it lug-to-lug, just the case, 45mm, end-link to end-link, 52.5mm with 20mm spacing in between the lugs. With right on my wrist, it does have more presence and it does wear larger with the bracelet. So whereas I would say this watch on a strap would fit a wrist of 13.5 centimeters circumference, I'm going to say on the bracelet you want to wear it on 14 to 15. My wrist is flat across the top, really oval in profile. You can see over the top. The lugs are nowhere near the edge of my wrist, but the end links do extend out. Taking a look down the barrel again, the lugs are nowhere near the edge of my wrist. You could buy this watch, put the bracelet in the box, and keep it for investment purposes, and just wear it on a strap. If your wrist is smaller, don't avoid the watch. Just put the bracelet where it's high, dry, and safe, and wear it on a strap. So this timepiece is a wonderful balanced watch. So if you've always wondered what happens if you wear a really heavy watch loosely on the wrist, sometimes it can capsize or hula hoop. When you have a nicely counterweighted bracelet and clasp, you can wear it loose without that tendency of it to move around the wrist. What's interesting here is that at the time, the Journe factory bracelets used a completely unplated white gold clasp. Now you can see that that white gold has a very warm color. When I talk about unplated white gold, I talk about either gray gold, which is a modern type of alloy that's never plated, but then if you take original, old school white gold that's not rhodium plated, it has a very warm aesthetic to it that's neither white nor yellow, but somewhere in between. And the reason it's used is because gold is harder and stronger for mechanical applications like a swing arm, and then white gold is the hardest gold. So for a platinum clasp, you have this white gold internal. You can see it's Journe branded. We've got a friction fit double deploy in action. It's a sequential close. Taking a look in profile, you can see removable links are fixed by screws, so you'll be able to size this. You can also see we have intermediate sized links in case you find yourself in between sizes. The bracelet's nicely designed so it won't pinch skin, pull hair, or trap wrist heat. And then you can see how it integrates with the case itself. Taking a look at the underside, one of the features of these bracelets is that they actually feature mounting brackets that allow them to be fixed to the case. This isn't a simple spring bar arrangement. You can really see that quite well here. You can also see the maker's mark of Eleanor, so the French case maker that used to build Journe's cases and also some of this bracelet hardware back before about mid-2008. You will also find Eleanor's maker's mark on the case right there, and then here you can see the Eleanor mark and two very distinct, deep, and sharp French double eagle hallmarks. Because the cases were made in France during the Eleanor years, you would get the French hallmarks on the case, then separately you would also get the Swiss hallmarks. That's what's going on there. The case is simple, with a domed case back, domed bezel, and then the flange of the bezel in the case back defining this mid-case. Blended lugs, all of high polish, the double dimple knurled crown, one of the most distinctive crowns in the world. If I do say so myself, it does appear that the crown is primarily constructed of white gold. You can see that little tonal contrast with the rest of the watch. Taking a look at the pushers for the chronograph, they too feature that knurled pattern. And it is a flyback chronograph, which means you reset and restart without first stopping. That's a handy feature if you are timing events that occur in rapid succession. This is all 30 meters water resistant, so standard dress watch fare. You don't want to swim with it. One feature that I do love is the 60-minute chronograph counter, which I find a lot more practical than 30. You can also see that we have a white gold dial, and we have this set of polished steel bezels that help to partition the dial along with Journe's distinctive hand and typeface. The watch does feature the dial side assembly screws that have been a long-time Journe styling signature, and a double-digit date that does feature a quick set note. The discs are flush, so that is one of the better double dates. We have a lateral clutch system, which I believe may be an oscillating pinion in this application. More interesting is the function cycler, which is sort of a fusion of a column wheel and a cam. So unlike a cam, which has multiple planes and lobes, this is all in one plane, like a column wheel. But unlike a column wheel, it doesn't feature crenellated towers. It features a wheel profile with serrations along its edge, a little bit like a Patek 28520. So it's a hybrid of a column wheel and a cam. The feel is very much that of a column wheel, but because it is flat, it allows the whole module for the chronograph on the base to be only 1 millimeter thick, which is a miracle of miniaturization. And again, it is a flyback, which is just a lot of fun to play with. The date on a Journe chrono wouldn't come back until 2018 in the monopoussoir. Now, taking a look at the back, you can't see the chronograph module because all the action's on the dial side. What you can see is the caliber 1302. So you might ask, what's the difference between a 1300, a 1, 2, and 3? Well, the 1 is made of brass, the 2 is gold, but it's bidirectional winding, and the 3 is circa 2007. That's when the unidirectional winding was introduced. 18-karat rose gold bridges and plates, so with the gold clasp, the platinum bracelet, the platinum case, the white gold dial, the gold movement. This is a very weighty watch. The movement has a 120-hour chronometric, 160-hour absolute power reserve, a 3 Hz beat rate, chronometer-style 5-position adjustment, an oversized high-inertia balance that's free-sprung for durability and precise setting. And the movement is fairly large at 30.8 millimeters in diameter and quite thin for a modular automatic chrono at 5.7 millimeters thick. Very impressive. It pivots on 32 jewels, and there is a lot to love. The finishing isn't high artisanal, but the watchmaking absolutely is. You buy Journe for history, for integrity of engineering, distinctive design, and for the importance that this man and this brand have had in the course of modern watchmaking, arguably the most influential. So, if you love this watch, it's a rarity, only a few dozen made with this combination of a 38 millimeter platinum case, white gold dial, and rose gold movement. Fewer still on the 5-figure accessory bracelet. So reach out to Team Mosso at the 1916company.com for purchase and pricing details.